Hello, future AP Lit students. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is just a little sum up of what my year was like with Miss Mangarella. So first, what was my favorite activity or project of the year? I would say my favorite was definitely when we did the individual projects with the for poetry. I really liked having to get to edit different clips together and really getting to understand poetry. I feel like that was one of my favorites, and also the podcast one. I really like the short story podcast because I felt like making a podcast for the first time, that was really cool. I enjoyed that. What was the most challenging thing you encountered in this class, and how did you overcome it? I would say the most challenging thing I overcame was probably some of the essays, because I feel like at times I was just I just felt so disappointed in myself doing the essays. Like whenever I'd get a 130, I'd feel so bad because I'd never get that sophistication point, and I thought I never would. Um, and I feel like by whenever I before I did the essays, I would always look into how do I get sophistication point for certain whether it's open-ended prose or poetry. But I feel like one way that I did overcome it was by watching videos on YouTube about how to improve on the essays. And then also just asking fellow classmates, how they what did they do to get that one point. So I feel like that was it. Some skills I feel like I developed or improved upon the year is definitely my writing. I feel like before I came into Miss Mangarella's class, my writing wasn't honestly the greatest. Compared to last year with my previous teacher, she never really gave us any feedback on what we wrote. So I feel like that kind of really degraded the type of writing that I did. So I feel really thankful that Miss Mangarella gives us proper feedback on what we write, because then it helps you to improve and get better. Some advice I would like to give for the next class is, when Ms. Mangarella says this, do take this seriously. AP does not stand for advanced procrastination. I will say that I did kind of learn that the hard way this year. There was one assignment with a study guide where me and my group had literally not worked on it at all, and it was the night before that it was due, and me and my group were literally messaging each other back and forth paragraphs with one another in our class chat, trying to work together to get it all done, and it was very stressful. And then also mentioning the group chat, I would say that when you are in her class, get to know your table really well and make a group chat with them, because I will say that getting to know your table and making friends in that class really makes it a really big help for you, by knowing other people, because there are times where she will let you work with the people at your table, and it really is a big help, especially for bigger assignments. So I will say definitely get to know the people at your table, and kind of become a little family, because I feel like that's what my friend group ended up becoming. And one thing I wish I had known from the beginning of the year was that to always stay on top of stuff. AP does not stand for advanced procrastination, as Miss Mangarella will tell you. I feel like for the longest time I procrastinate on a lot of the stuff that I did. I'd have an assignment that was due next month, but since I had finished all the assignments that month, I decided to just relax. I kind of wish that I had started those assignments earlier, because then it would have made it better and less stressful for me when I actually did those assignments. So I feel like that was definitely a big thing that I wish I'd known at the beginning of the year. And then one last thing I did wish I knew at the beginning of the year was that writing and English isn't always going to be the easiest, but it's always, but by putting in the effort and always by putting in the effort and by really trying your hardest, and by putting in putting in your 100% and understanding that things will get better the more you keep practicing at things. I think that's one thing that I kind of learned throughout the year, and which I had known at the beginning, because it would have made it really easier for some of those other assignments. And then one last thing I wanted to say was, Miss Mangler really is a great teacher, and she's very easy on grading as long as you really put in the effort and get your work done on time. And also just get to know your class. At the end of the day, the class really is such a fun place to be in, and the people around you will become some of your greatest friends ever. But that is all. Thank you for listening.